Okay, good morning class. Today we will be starting with marketing environment, that is unit number 2. The subject is basics of marketing. I Dr. Rohan Dahivale welcome you all for this unit number 2. Syllabus for this unit number 2 is concept of marketing environment. Then we will see macro environment and micro environment. The difference between micro and macro environment that we will see. Then various components and characteristics of environment, need and trends in environment, major forces impacting the macro environment and micro environment as well, the need for analyzing the marketing environment and analyzing the political, economical, socio-cultural, technical, legal environment with demographics also. The course outcome is understanding. As per Bloom's taxonomy, here you can classify the various components of the marketing environment of the firm and explain the same in details. Now we will start with definition of marketing environment. According to Philip Kotler, a company's marketing environment consists of the actors and forces outside of the marketing that affects the marketing management ability to build and maintain successful relationship with the target customers. Now these are three levels of marketing environment. Before starting with the level, we will just see the concept of environment. The business environment is a marketing term and refers to various factors and forces that affects a firm's or company's ability to build and maintain a successful customer relationship. Marketers try to predict the changes which might take place in future by monitoring the marketing environment. These changes may create threats and opportunities for the business. With these changes, marketers continue to modify their strategies and various plans so that they can target the customers. Microenvironment and macroenvironment have a significant impact on the success of marketing campaign, and therefore the factors of this environment should be considered in depth during the decision making process of a strategic marketer. Considering these factors will improve the success of your organization, marketing campaign, and the reputation of the brand in the long term as well. So now we will see the three levels of environment. The environment can be divided into three parts. One is micro environment, that is also called as internal environment. The second is macro environment, that is also called as national or widely classified as external environment. So these are two important levels, internal and external, or micro and macro environment. Apart from that, some of the book says that there is a meso environment also. In your syllabus, meso environment is not there. So in detail or in depth, we will see micro and macro environment only, and we will see what is the definition of meso. So what is micro environment? Various small forces within the company that affects the ability to serve the customers. So these all forces are the part of micro environment. So these forces are acting within the company or inside the company. Now, what is macro environment or external environment? As the name suggests, the larger or societal forces that affects the micro environment, and those forces will act outside the company. So micro environment will be the forces within the company, and macro environment will be the external forces outside the organization or outside the company. These forces will shape the organization. Now, what is meso environment? The industry in which a company operates and the industry's markets is also called as meso environment. Means, suppose you are you can take example of Airtel. So Airtel in telecommunication sector. So Airtel is in the environment of telecommunication sector, or the industry is where in which the company operates in the industry market, that is telecom market. Now we will see various characteristics of environment. As we want to study the environment, we should be able to understand what is the characteristics of environment. Now, today's marketing environment can be categorized or classified by numerous features which are mentioned as below. One is specific, so environment is specific. Then complex, environment is complex in nature. Environment is vibrant, it is uncertain, and it is having relativity. Now we will see one by one. Number one is specific and general forces. So we will understand the characteristics of environment, how it is specific. Now it refers to different forces that affects the marketing environment. Specific forces which include those forces which directly affects the activities of the organization. Example Examples of these specific forces are the various customers and investors. General forces are those forces which indirectly affect the organization. Examples of general forces are societal, political, legal, and technological factors. So, this is about specific and general forces, and this is one of the characteristics of environment. The next is environment is very complex in nature, as there are n number of forces acting at a time to the organization, and they are shaping the organization. And because of this organization, the environment because of the organization environment because of the environment, the organization needs to change the various strategies and plans. That's why it is called as very complex in nature, as various factors are acting simultaneously. So complexity, it implies that the marketing environment includes number of factors, conditions, and influences. These interactions among all these elements make the marketing environment very much complex in nature. The next is vibrancy. Vibrancy implies the dynamic nature of the marketing environment. A large number of forces outline the marketing environment, which does not remain stable and changes over the period of time. So, it is dynamic in nature and it changes over the period of time. That's why it is called as vibrant. Marketers have Marketers may have the ability to control some of these forces, however, they fail to control all the forces. However, understanding the vibrant nature of the marketing environment may give an opportunity to the marketers to gain the edge over their competitors. So, studying the vibrancy is important. Now, next characteristics is, as it is dynamic in nature, it is uncertain also. It implies that market forces are unpredictable in nature. Every marketer tries to predict market forces to make the strategies and update their plans. It may be difficult to predict some of the changes which occurs frequently. For example, customer taste for clothes are changes generally frequently because fashion is not same throughout a decade or throughout a year also. Thus fashion industry suffers a great uncertainty. The fashion may live for few days or maybe for few years. So, depending on the nature of the industry, the characteristics of that industry and the environment of that organization or company is also changing. Now, last characteristics is relativity. It explains the reasons for differences in demand in different countries. The product demand of a particular industry, organization, or product or services may be vary depending upon the country, region, culture, and so many factors. For example, saris are the traditional dress of a woman in India, but thus it is always in demand. However, in any another western country, the demand of the sari maybe will be zero. So depending on nature of the organization, it depends. So these are various characteristics of the environment is specific, it is complex in nature, it is vibrant, it is uncertain, and it is relativity. Now why we are studying this environment and why there is need to analyze the marketing environment, we will see now. We will see need for analyzing the marketing environment. Environmental scanning is one of the essential component of the global environmental analysis. It is analysis of micro and macro environment of the company. The factors which need to be considered for environmental scanning are events, trends, issues and expectation of the different interest groups. Issues are often forerunners for the trade makers. So environmental scanning is an ongoing process. So continuously it is happening. So that's why it is called as ongoing process. Thus, environmental scanning is an ongoing process, and organizations are always refining the way their product or particular company or businesses goes throughout the processes. Environmental scanning reinforces productive strategic plans and policies that can be implemented to make the organization get the maximum use of the business's environment they are into. Then environmental scanning helps the businesses finds their strengths in the current environment, also finds the weaknesses of the competitors, identifies the new markets and potential customers, identification of potential customers, and upcoming technologies platforms and various gadgets or devices that they can be best used to sell the market, to increase their market share, to market the products or services, etc. So environmental scanning also helps a business to improve their decision making process in a time of risk to the external and internal environments the business they are into. So that's why to achieve the market potential, to identify the potential customers, to identify the new markets, to identify our own strengths, to identify or to analyze the weaknesses of the competitors, and to analyze various technological changes that will happen in the coming future, it is very much essential to study the marketing environment. Now we will study how to do the environmental scanning. That is the 5 steps of the environmental scanning. So if you want to scan the environment before studying or analyzing, you should undergo various 5 steps. A common formal environmental scanning process has a 5 steps. The 5 steps are fundamental in the achievement of each step and may develop each other in some other forms also. So first step is number 1, identification of needs and the issues. Before starting the process, there are several factors that need to be considered, which includes the purpose of scanning, who will be participating in the processes, and amount of time and resources that will be allocated for the duration of the scanning process. So this is step number 1. You have to identify the needs and various issues. Then step number 2, gather the information. All the needs of the organizations are translated into the required piece of information that will be useful in the process. So this is gathering the information. Then third is analyzing the information, analyzing all the information. When analyzing the information, organizations are made aware of the various trends or the issues of the organization may be influenced by. So this is you have to analyze the things. After that, communication of the results obtained in the step 3. So whatever you have analyzed, you have to communicate the results. So the appropriate decision makers analyze the translated information of the potential effects of the organization. All the information is presented in a simple and concise format, so that it will be easier for decision makers to uh, do the final decision. That is step number 5, making informed decisions. So management creates appropriate steps that will position the organization in the current business environment. So if you want to do environmental scanning, then you have to identify the needs, you have to gather the information, you have to analyze the information, then you will communicate the results obtained in step number 3. Then final will be you have to make informed decisions. So this is about 5-step environmental scanning. So up till now we have seen the characteristics of environment, then how we are going to scan the environment and why there is need to study environment. Also we have seen the basic two types of environment, that is micro environment and macro environment. So now in the next part we will see micro environment in detail. So this is micro environment. So micro environment can be categorized or classified into five parts: suppliers, intermediaries, competitors, customers, and public as such. Now, the micro environment of the organization consists of those elements which are controllable by the management. So all these forces, if you just see, those can be slightly controlled by the top management or management. We can have a control over the competitors, not directly, but at least we can see what are the competitors giving us and we can modify our products. We can have control over the customers. That means whatever customer satisfaction if you want to achieve, or customer loyalty if you want to achieve, then we can have something in our hand. Intermediaries, that is our wholesalers and retailers, through that we are reaching to the ultimate customers, that we can also control. Then we are having the control over the suppliers, and through various advertisement etc, for getting the information from the public and giving the products the public needs and want, and manufacturing such products, then also we can have a slightly control. So thus we can see that this microenvironment or organization of the microenvironment organization consists of those elements which are controllable by the management. So now we will see each and every factor in depth. That is, we will see now what do we understand by suppliers. So supplier is environmental component number one. So what is the concept? According to Michael Porter, the relationship between suppliers and the firm characterizes a power equation between them. This equation is based on the industry conditions and the extent to which each of them is dependent on the other. So there is a mutual understanding or a relationship between the various suppliers and the firm, that is organization. These suppliers are raw material, generally raw materials or energy, etc., or manpower, etc., providing suppliers. So these are providing us various type of raw materials. Now what is the meaning of this? The development in the suppliers environment has a substantial impact on the operations of the organization or the company. The suppliers holds the power when they are the only and the largest supplier of the goods. That means if they are having their monopoly, and if there is a number of suppliers that is supplying goods to us is only one, then they will hold a largest power. So thus the supplier holds the power when they are the only one or the largest supplier of the goods or the services. The buyer is not vital to the supplier's businesses. The supplier's product is a core part of the buyer's finished product or businesses. So in these cases, the supplier will have a greater impact as a microenvironment. Suppliers are either individuals or maybe business houses. They combine together and provide resources those are needed for the organization. Now, the company necessarily should go for developing various specifications, searching for potential suppliers, identification and analyzing the suppliers, and thereafter choose the suppliers who offers best mix of quality, delivery, reliability, credit, warranties, and obviously low cost. So what a company needs from the supplier, that they need that the supplier should deliver the resources or raw materials so that it will be of best quality, then reliable, it should be reliable, they should deliver in time, they should give credit facilities, they should give warranties, and obviously at the low cost. In recent trends, companies can lower their supplier cost and increase their product quality. So this is about the supplier, that is first part of micro environment. Now we will see the next intermediaries, that is micro environmental component number 2, that is intermediaries. Intermediaries will include wholesalers and retailers as well. So we will see now what is the concept. The marketing intermediaries refers to resellers, physical distributor firms, the marketing service agencies, and the financial intermediaries. These are the people that help the company to promote their sales, to sell their products, and to distribute their products from producers to the final buyers or consumers. So, this is the concept of intermediaries. Now, what is the meaning? Marketing intermediaries plays an important role. They are integral part of supply chain management of the organization. Products generally flow from the manufacturers to the consumers through wholesalers and retailers. Physical distribution firms are places such as warehouses that stores and transport a company's product from the origin to the destination. And here the origins is the producers and the destinations are the ultimate users or consumers. The marketing intermediaries includes the following. Number one, they include resellers. What are resellers? It purchases or they purchases the products from the organizations and sell those products to the customers. Examples of resellers are the wholesalers and retailers. Then next is distribution centers. What are distribution centers? It helps organizations to store the goods. A warehouse is an example of distribution center. Then marketing agencies. They promote the organization's product by making the customers aware of the benefits of the products and services the company is producing. And advertisement agencies are the example of the marketing agencies. Or maybe a marketing research companies, those are collecting data from the various consumers and providing those data to the organization are the example of marketing agencies. Then financial intermediaries, they provides the finance to the organization transactions. Example of financial intermediaries are various banks, credit organizations, and insurance organizations. Thus, the marketing intermediaries includes resellers, wholesalers, retailers, distribution centers, marketing agencies, and financial intermediaries. The manufacturer has to decide the most cost effective method of the intermediaries to reach the product of the customers that will help to increase their profit. So, this is all about the intermediaries, that is micro environment number force number 2. Now we will see the competitors, that is micro environment component number 3. Now everybody knows that if you are into market and if you are delivering same services or same type of services or similar type of products like the other organizations in the same market, then those organizations will be said to be your competitors in the same market. So what is the concept of competitors? According to Philip Kotler, the best way for the company to grasp the full range of its competition is to make the weak point or viewpoint of the buyer. What does the buyer think about that, which eventually leads to purchasing something? So tracing of the customer's mindset will help to the retain the market share for all the firms. So this is the concept of competitors. Now we will see what is meaning of the competitors. The competitors are also a factor of microenvironment. They include various companies, those are having similar offerings of the similar products or services in the same market. To remain competitive, a company must consider who their biggest competitors are while considering their own size and their own position in the industry. The competitive environment consists of certain basic things which every firm has to take a note of. No company, however large it may be, enjoys monopoly. So it is very difficult to achieve a monopoly. What is monopoly? Monopoly means in a particular market there is only one seller and The seller is not having any other competitors. So competition free market is also called as a monopoly market, where there are no competitors for any organization, and it is said to be the organization is enjoying the monopoly. In the original business world, a company encounters various forms of competitors. The most common competitor which a company's product now faces is from differentiated products of the other companies. For example, in the color TV market, Sony TV faces competition from the other companies like Videocon, LG, Samsung, and so on. This type of competition is called as brand competition. It is found in all durable product market. In FMCG also, you can take n number of examples. Like for soap market, there are so many competitors. For shampoo market, for toothpaste, etc., there are so many competitors. For mobile phones also, from telecom markets also, there are so many competitors in the existing market for any organization. So competitors and study of competitors is extremely important. Now we will see next part that acts as a micro environmental force, that is micro environment component number 4, which is important. The terminology is customers. So what is the concept of customer, we will see. According to Peter Drucker, there is only one valid definition of the business purpose, that is to create a customer. So why the businesses are there, or what is the existence of business? The purpose to create a customer, right? So the business enterprises aims to earn profit through serving their customer demand. It now thinks more in terms of profitable sales rather than more sales volume for its sake. Today, marketing of a firm begins and ends with the customers. That we have seen in previous chapter. Marketing begins with the customers and also ends with the customers. Now what is this meaning? Nowadays business firm to be successful must find their customers for its products. This is the reason the customers thus continue to be the most important element in the microenvironment business. Product sales depend mainly on the degree of customer satisfaction. From the company's point of view, it is always better to have customer from various groups and regions for that easily sustained demand for the company's product. There are different type of customer markets, including consumer markets, business markets, government markets, and international market. Also, reseller markets are also a new trend. So this is all about customers. Customer is no doubt or undoubtedly the important force which is acting and shaping the organization. Now we will see last part, that is micro environment component number 5, that is public. Now what is public? According to Philip Kotler, companies must put their primary energy into effectively managing their relationship between their customers, distributors, and suppliers. Their overall success will be affected by how other publics in the society view their activities. Companies would be wise to spend time monitoring all their public, understanding their needs and opinions, and dealing with them constructively. So what are these public? These publics are nothing but your future customers. So how you will classify customers and public? Customers are public only, but customers are the company's buyers. They are buying the products of the organization. Those we will treat as our customers. And public are anybody in the market or potential customers. Those customers are currently not buying your products. Maybe they are buying the competitors' products. So you have to convert your public into your customers. And that is why, as publics are your future or targeted customers, it is very much essential to understand what public is. The final aspect of microenvironment is public, which is any group that has interest in the effect of organization's ability to meet its goal. The organization has a duty to satisfy the public. Any actions of the company must be considered from the angle of general public and how they are affected. The public has a power to help companies to reach their goals, just as they can also prevent companies from achieving it. For example, financial public can hinder a company's ability to obtain funds, affecting a level of credit a company has. Media public includes newspapers and magazines that can publish articles of interest regarding the company and editorials that may influence customers opinions. So this is all about the micro environment. Now